Good morning.
Morning.
How you doing?
I'm waking up.
Waking up is hard to do. Saying that to you twice this morning.
Yeah. No, it'll be stuck in my head all day.
Right. So, welcome to episode 4 of Grace Unstitched. I'm JJ.
I'm Tara.
She is my lovely wife. And today, we're going to get into things here shortly. And we're going to be talking about Philly. And not all of the medical. There's medical in there, obviously, because we're in Philly for medical things. But more about what were you feeling thousands of miles away from your family, and what were we feeling thousands of miles away from you guys, and all of that stuff. We're going to dig into that today.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, do you want to break us out in prayer first so that we can get this thing rolling the right way?
Sure.
All right.
Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for today, the day that you have made. Lord, remind us to rejoice and be glad in you, Lord. And just guide us throughout everything that we do today. Guide this podcast, guide this conversation this morning, Father. So that words of the Holy Spirit flow out of our mouths, Lord, and we just want to build your kingdom, Father. We just want to build your kingdom, and just so give us the words and guide us through this. Use us as your instruments. We praise your holy name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. All right. Thank you so much for opening it up the right way.
This is what? Are you tongue-tied this morning, baby?
Oh man, I tell you what. So
Good thing I'm gonna do all the talking.
yeah, there's gonna be a lot of talking on your part for sure.
Right.
All right. So let's what man.
You were gonna tell me in a minute to get it closer anyway.
All right. So
There was a lot less medical stuff in Philly. There was medical stuff, but there was definitely a lot less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're feasibly like 2,300, 2,500 miles away
From everybody. Yeah.
in all directions.
Yeah.
And I know that, like, hey, this is cool. We're doing something a little bit different. Had to be in there. But
Sure.
But you were also doing something yet again that was like you and Jailex.
Yeah.
Now, even if before you felt like, well, Joe's got the business and Joe's got the things that he's dealing with, and I take care of Jailex, did you feel it heavier?
Yeah, sure. Like, and mostly with Alina, honestly. You know, all the time before, like if Jailex and I were in the hospital, then I was with her and able to just be her mom too.
Yeah.
And I couldn't take Alina with me to Philly.
No.
Like there was so much that, you know, if when he did get admitted into the hospital, like she wouldn't have been able to be there.
She would have been staying in a apartment downtown Philly by herself.
Yeah. And that was a no-go. There was nobody like that could take care of her or whatever out there. So she had to stay home. That was pretty rough. Alina's a mommy's girl. She's a daddy's girl too, but she definitely likes for her mommy to tuck her in and cuddles with mommy and stuff like
with
that.
Alina especially. See, now I gotta move my mic.
Yeah, see? Mine just makes a lot of noise.
It does. I was like, mine did not make all that noise. With Alina especially, like, it's kind of cool because I think we play our own equal roles
For her?
For her.
Absolutely.
And like, she's a almost equal mommy and daddies.
She did not start out that way, but she most definitely is now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even with like whenever we did need to help her with her homework, we like helped her equally. You had your subjects, I had my subjects. And and then whenever we have like conversations, like deep conversations, there are certain things that she talks about with you, like politics, and like history and stuff like that. She primarily talks with you about because you have like a much deeper understanding and knowledge there. And then other things she talks with me about.
Yeah. And I think that for me, I knew that. And I was like, okay, I've really got to up my daddy game.
Yeah.
To compensate for the missing portion of Tara being here for Alina.
Yeah. She just kind of had like a lot of anxiety at that time. And then, like, I think we had mentioned before that whenever they were talking about bone marrow transplant, like, she was a donor and that kind of put a lot of pressure on her. I think even though she wasn't really wanting to talk about that.
You could see definitely when the conversation was up, like, she was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And you could see she felt like the call to do it and that it was almost mandatory that she does it.
Even though we were saying it wasn't.
Even though we told her a million times, like, hey, you don't have to. We'll find, like, he's not got a special blood type or anything like that. Like, he's fairly easy to match up. Like, you're just the closest thing going that we have for him. And she was like, no, this is what I'm doing. Yeah. You know, I'm his sister and this is what a sister should be doing. You could see it all written all over her. Yeah. But you could also see, like, I don't want no surgery.
Yeah, she don't like getting shots.
Right.
You know, she don't like going to the doctor at all. She don't like any of that stuff. So, and unlike Jailex, she's never had anything ever. She had one admission into the not even. We took her to the emergency room one time. Yeah. And that was on her first birthday. And it's the only time that she's ever had to be to the hospital for herself.
Yeah. As a mom, what were you feeling for her?
I was a little worried. Like
over the bone marrow thing specifically.
Oh, over the bone marrow thing specifically. I felt like it was a lot of pressure for a teenager, and she was a young teenager. And just, I felt like, with the bone marrow transplant idea, that's a lot for both of my kids. That's a lot for Jailex's body. And then in turn being a lot for him mentally, because he would basically be living in a bubble for a year.
Well, they're going to knock him down to absolutely nothing.
Possibly and then 2 years.
And then do surgery on it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
And then a lot for Alina, like mentally. She takes a lot on mentally, and she takes a lot of responsibility on. And I didn't want her feeling like she was responsible for the outcome.
That's big.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, man, that's a super, that's probably what you needed to be thinking about. And I don't know that was for me at the time, for sure. The thought that ever went through my head. For me, it was like, it's a procedure. it's something that they do a ton in this world. And yeah, it's going to suck, and I'll coach her through it and I'll be there for her, but I don't know, as a dad, especially a dad that was fairly detached.
You were still in your bull pushing forward mode, and we're just going to do it. Not that you were ready to do a bone marrow or transplant either.
But
the mindset of we're just going to do it and push through it and get it done. And that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Where you're a lot more thoughtful and pause and think and pray and stuff now.
Yeah. Well, it's different when you're doing it by yourself. You have to push so hard.
Yeah.
When you're doing it with God,
yeah,
there's a lot of the work that's done for you.
Yeah.
It's all been done for you. You're out here fighting battles day after day after day. And they're battles that you don't need to be fighting.
Yeah, because Jesus already won them on the cross.
Yeah.
With 100%. His resurrection.
Yep.
But so that was a big thing for me, was just, like I said, she had a lot of anxiety at the time, and she was feeling very stressed out about a lot of stuff at the time. And just, there was a lot for her. And my mom was now 9 hours away versus 2 hours away. And my granddad was, getting more towards the end of his life.
Yeah.
And my grandma was taking care of him. And so my mom needed to be there for my grandma and taking care of them and stuff. So my mom wasn't able to come. Alina could have gone up there, but she was not trying to be away from everybody else. Yeah.
No, and it was a big thing, especially in the beginning of everything when Jailex first got diagnosed. The kids lived with your mom. The kids did school with your mom.
They lived with her whenever we moved from Amarillo. Yeah, or from Clayton to Amarillo.
I guess that wasn't in the first diagnosis. That was more.
But my parents did.
Second, but yeah.
They took care of Jailex while I worked, and you were running the business, but I had to keep working because that's what was paying for our insurance.
Yeah.
And so they homeschooled Jailex and took care of Jailex for that first year, basically. They took him to a couple appointments, but I took him to most of them. And then they just they were the ones taking care of his meds and taking his temperature all the time and all that stuff. I was just so
grateful for him during that time, because we needed a whole extra set of people.
Yeah, 100%
in our life.
Yeah.
There was
no way.
And then
whenever, if we were in the hospital, then Alina would stay with them a lot. And sometimes that we were in the hospital, you were out of town. Because you would have to be out of town, and then he'd spike a fever, and we would go to the hospital, and then Alina's with my mom, So, and Alina was really young at that time too. Jailex was 6, so she was only 8.
Yeah.
Oh, and her and my mom get along really good, and Grammy sings the songs and
all the things. So we made the decision that Alina's not going to do bone marrow anything for Jailex, because we're not going to do that. Now here we are in Philly.
Well, we went, all 4 of us went out for a consultation first. And we kind of made it a quick little... Well, we didn't do a whole lot that time, because we only went basically overnight, but we did kind of see some stuff.
I think we were there for 3 days, weren't we?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was a long...
Yeah, and so I remember going through the airport, and because we took you all out there to, I went with you. It was you, me, and Jailex that went out to get you set up
in the apartment.
And I was like, okay, gotta be strong, gotta do that. Bro, I bawled like a baby having to leave you guys.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that moment. Like, we were going to be so separated. And like, I travel a lot for work and stuff like that. And we're separated, but not, hey, here you go. We're going to be separated for 3 months plus. And it's all surrounding my son's life.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember when we got you out to Philly, we set up the apartment and stuff like that, and went and did the first couple of doctor's things, and then I had to go home. Like, I gotta go to work. I gotta be with Alina.
Yeah.
Stuff, and I could literally feel that I was leaving a piece of me in Philadelphia that was supposed to be coming with me.
Yeah.
And that was so disheartening for me. Like, the whole flight back, I had multiple times of just tearing up.
It was hard.
I walked down the apartment in Philly's on like the 16th floor of this skyrise building, and it had these real long it's like 150-year-old building, and had these real long hallways. I remember I can still hear the sound of the door clicking behind me.
Yeah.
As I had to leave to go putting
the little chain on the lock.
catch my ride to go to the airport to leave you guys. And it was just so saddening, that whole walk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then on the airplane, the same thing.
I probably would have been crying the whole flight, honestly.
But then I get back here and I have to get back to it because, all right, there's people that need you. Like, your employees need you. Your daughter needs you, you know, things like that. So
yeah.
What'd you feel when because
I
walked away from the door. You closed the door.
Yeah. First, I'm not a city person. Like, I'm a good old country girl. But, you know, I've been in a city like by myself before, you know, as a military wife, and so I can handle that part. It's just, I don't know, it's weird because Jailex and I are used to being by ourselves a lot together, but we're usually together by ourselves in a hospital.
Right.
Not like in a city, in a new city. But I don't know, it was different, definitely. And then, you know, I was like, I'm out here. I don't have, like, my closest person was
Virginia.
Yeah, my best friend lives in Virginia, and she was a couple hours away. If I
like 4, I think, or something. But
really, 2 to 4, somewhere in there. But if I really needed somebody to come up, like, she could be there. She could be there quicker, you know, with a flight or whatever. But just like, I didn't have somebody there to be a support. Don't know the nurses. Don't really know the doctors. Met them all one time, you know?
Yep. So then Jailex is doing all his treatment, and all of a sudden.
Yeah, and we got it done pretty quick too. He got his CAR T like really quickly because we did chemo here.
Yeah, but then they just
to
wanted
knock
to watch
everything
you
down, and then he got his CAR T cells pretty quickly. And then the rest of the time that we were there is literally just watching him, because there can be a lot of like mental side effects. There can be some physical side effects. Most of the side effects are temporary. So they're treatable, or they just kind of go away on their own, but you have to be really near a hospital. It was not something that we could get the T cells and then come back here.
Yeah.
And like the chances of something going wrong on an airplane are pretty high. So yeah, we got the T cells at the end of like June, and then he spiked a fever, and he spiked a fever at the beginning
like pretty
of July.
harsh fever too. It was up there like the 103s or something.
Yeah, pretty high fever, but there was none of the like mental stuff like there was the first time.
Yeah.
And so we packed up everything in the apartment that we could possibly need and called an Uber, and
The poor Uber guy
went to the hospital. And then like y'all don't even know, like whenever as cancer moms go to the hospital, like we need a wagon. There's a lot of stuff.
But you're in Philly, so you didn't have no wagon.
No, I didn't have a wagon. I didn't have nothing. I just piled it on top of my suitcase and backpacks and whatever, because Jailex needs, something to do whenever he starts feeling better. And I have I have my pillow because my neck, and we have blankets and
all the things,
all our clothes and all the stuff. So piled it all up on my big wheelie suitcase and in backpacks, and
you went.
Yep. And then we were in the hospital for the 4th of July.
Yeah.
I was so sad. Sad.
You're in the start of the country.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the nation, and you can't go see the 4th of July anything.
Yeah, and we were facing a freaking parking garage, so I didn't get to see anything. Like, we were high enough up, we could have seen fireworks, but we were facing a parking garage, and I could hear the fireworks, and I was just like, and I couldn't leave him in the hospital. I couldn't take him out of the bed. He was that he was that bad off. But really just with a fever, there was nothing extra at that time.
Sure.
But he was, not feeling good enough that I could take him down the hallway and we could watch fireworks from another window or something. And I didn't want to just leave him in there by himself.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. So there was a more serious, medical hospitalization in Philly, or was there not?
No, that was the only one. Yeah. That was the only one.
And I think for you went through it we got a fever, we're getting admitted, and you're kind of doing this is what we do thing. And back here, I'm like, it hit differently because
he's forever away and you can't go see him.
Yeah. And I was like, there's a little bit of freaking out, a little bit of what's actually happening. And then,
I was freaking out a little bit too. Is like now looking back, like it was really one of the easiest hospitalizations that he had. But at the time, I was freaking out too, for sure. Like the night that we were admitted in the hospital, I was just laying on the little couch thing and crying and just like, God, what are we doing? Please, keep him safe. And did we do the right thing? And then the next morning, the doctors came in and they told me, so we got the results back from his spinal tap and his bone marrow that they had taken for a baseline, and his bone marrow was gearing up for another relapse. They said it wasn't high enough to call it a relapse, but he was definitely gearing up for it. And so I was like, okay, we did the right thing. But yeah, definitely feeling like I said, did we do the right thing? I'm over here halfway across the country. It's not like you could just fly out there at the time either. We was kind of broke.
Yeah. Yeah. We were going through
we were kind of broke at that time. We were going through a rough patch and financially, and trying to keep all of our employees fed and their families fed and stuff. And
yeah, no extra worries there.
Yeah. And then, yeah, But he recovered pretty quickly, and just like he was there 2, maybe 3 days, and then we didn't have any other issues while we were there.
I remember like our phone calls.
Yeah.
I remember our phone calls, like both of us just kind of like, I'm here with people, but I'm lonely.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And like, and Jailex gets very needy.
He does.
You know? So it takes a lot of energy out of whoever's his provider or care provider at that time.
And then on top of that, I'm having to go to the grocery store for us because there's nobody to help at the grocery store. Can't rent all of our money out using Uber. We're trying to support 2 households, you know, and trying to work and trying to write. I did a lot of writing for my book at that during that time. That was huge. And then and then he's bored and he wants to go do something.
But he can't.
And, well, we could, but like I had to work. Like for parts of it, he could, but I had to work, you know. And I'm like, buddy, like, and this is a new city, and I got to be paying attention, and I can't be super focused on my phone and lose you or whatever. But we did go see stuff. Like we went and saw, you know, we went by a lot of places we just walked by. But some places we did get to tour, but Jailex and I saw like the first theater, the first post office, the first prison. There are parks in Philadelphia, like every few blocks. And there, I can't remember who it was that one of our founding fathers designed it that way. And that was the intention, was that every city would have a park every few
neighborhood.
blocks. Yeah. And we went to a lot of the parks, and man, we saw a lot of firsts. We went to the Declaration House, and
we did that together. Yeah.
And then the zoo. Oh my gosh, the zoo. Philly has an amazing zoo. Cheyenne Mountain Zoo is my ultimate favorite in the world so far that I've been to. But the Philly Zoo, really close second, or maybe even a tie with San Diego and Philly, because the zoo in Philly is really cool, and it was the first zoo in the country. So that's
was
really
it really
cool. Yeah.
Huh. I didn't know that. Don't remember that.
Yeah.
What do you think? And this can go into a much deeper episode sometime. What do you think Jailex's, like, what were you managing Jailex's feelings? Was he just like, this is what we do?
No, he missed his sister for sure. And he missed you a lot. You and Jailex kind of pal around a lot and stuff. And him and Alina are best friends. And they do everything together. And whenever we travel, they're like having a sleepover, you know what I mean? So he really missed his sister. Mostly, there was a lot of boredom for him. And then...
and you just didn't have time to be bored.
Yeah.
And like, I would actually enjoy being bored a little bit.
Well, yeah. And he, you know, he wanted to go out and do things. It was like 100 degrees or raining. And I'm like, bro, what do you want me to do? You know what I mean? And then it kind of got to the point where we sort of saw everything in the city that we could do that wasn't going to be a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And there's like New Jersey right there and New York right there. And like there's things that in different circumstances we could have gone and seen those things, but we couldn't be that far from the hospital. So we couldn't go see those things. And he was like, Jailex always want to do something that costs a bunch of money. Like,
always.
He wants to go to the movie theater every day. I'm like, that costs us $100 every time we go because you want to eat, and
just the tickets
you gotta
alone.
have drinks, and the tickets alone are expensive and whatever. But we were like right off of Market Street, so we could walk up and down there, and there was
Reading
the mall
station
right there.
and Yeah.
He didn't too much care for Reading Station. There's a lot of people in there. It was really loud, but there was things that we could do.
I enjoyed Reading Station.
We went to the Japanese Lantern Festival. That was really cool.
Yeah. But what about like emotion stuff? Did he have, did you have a lot of times with him over all these years where he ever hit like mommy emotionally worn out, or has he always just kind of been a trooper, been a warrior, and just kept pushing?
In 8 years, there's been literally twice that Jailex has said, this is not fair, or why me?
Yeah.
Literally twice in 8 years.
Such an amazingly tough little dude.
He's
not so little anymore. But
no, he's taller than me.
Because I promise you, in 8 years, I've felt it was way more unfair for him.
Absolutely. I have too.
Almost daily.
Yeah. Not him.
And you don't totally show that to your kid, right? Like, because you don't want to create a kid that's like, everything's so unfair and I can't make it. Yes, you can. I know it sucks, but you can do this.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what you want to, the mentality that you almost have to create in a kid that's going through all of that, and through your kids in general. They have to be able to know that they can make anything happen. And they can make anything happen with God.
Yeah, 100%. And then he just, like, it's weird, I guess, because when we're in the hospital, like, he starts out and he feels so bad. You know what I mean? And he does not want to be in the hospital. Like, that part, there is a whole lot of this sucks and I don't want to be in the hospital 100%. Especially whenever we were living in Clayton. And every time that he would spike a fever, you'd
see him like, buddy, you feeling okay? Yeah, I'm fine. And you're like, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
And he
take his temperature. Come on, let's go. But so many times we took his temperature and then we get to Amarillo and it was nothing. And he was so irritated.
Because that's like, 3 days. In that time, it was 3 days you're going to be there. Yeah. So
because we couldn't take the chance with his port.
So he felt like probably many times like, why do I got to do this? But it never came out of his mouth the way that you would expect it would.
No, he would say, why do I got to be in the hospital?
Yeah, sure. Like I can be sick at home, which we all kind of would rather be sick at home.
He doesn't like to be in the hospital and feel like it's unnecessary. Like if he doesn't feel good, he wants to go to the hospital. He knows that being there, that they're going to help him, that he's going to feel better, all that stuff. Yeah. But if it's something that he feels like is unnecessary, bruh, like this last hospitalization, he's like, why do I even have to be here? This is stupid. And I was like, just like, it's what we're doing because it's easier to get the test done. We want to make sure everything's good. And then everything just started going downhill, one thing after another. And I was like, see, aren't you glad we're at the hospital? But like, yeah, and that's the biggest thing for him is he just doesn't want to be in the hospital. He just wants to feel good, But, and as long as he's feeling good, like he's doing fine.
He's so amazingly tough and just,
yeah.
I tell him all the time that he's my biggest hero. Yeah. I am his biggest fan all the time. And it's so true. Like, bro, he just does it. He just does it. He's so strong.
He's a cool kid.
This kid has literally been on his deathbed and what could easily turned, taking a hard left or an easy left and, been the end of everything so many times. And he doesn't give up.
No.
His heart, his soul, his everything. He doesn't give up.
Yeah.
Even when he's laying there and he has nothing to give, he's holding on and he gives, and it's just so amazing to get to watch him. you know.
100%. And he, I guess, kind of avoided, I don't know, when he was first sick. And remember, he is only like 6 years old. And my dad was having a rough day. And he was, I don't know, I don't remember what was going on, but I know he was like mad. And Jailex was like, Granddad, why are you mad? And he's like, oh, Mother Nature. And I was supposed to do
Whatever.
this today. And Mother Nature's getting in the way and whatever. And Jailex was like, well, I'm not mad. You shouldn't be mad either. And it really caused my dad to pause. And he was like, well, you have more reason to be mad than anybody I know. And if you're not mad, like I can be not mad too.
Oh.
And that's just kind of how Jailex is. He's just like,
he's infectious that way.
Yeah, he is. And he has an infectious laugh too.
Oh my gosh, that boy's laugh.
Yeah.
But
and then, a couple of weeks ago at church, we had the sermon about the rocks of remembrance.
Yeah.
And he was one of the first ones up there to get his rock both times. He wanted rock of remembrance and rock for what he's believing in. And then on the rock of remembrance, he said he healed me from cancer. And on the rock for something that he's believing in is for God to heal his head.
Yep.
And that's just who he is. He has faith that God's going to carry him through it and that God's going to make it okay. And all he wants out of this is that he's able to help other people. Literally, that's what he said.
He knows. He knows. Yeah. So, well, Philly was definitely an emotional time. It was different. It was change. It was everything.
Yeah. But I did end up having a support system. But I did.
Yeah.
There's JJ has friends, their brothers out there, and they offered so much help. I didn't need a lot. I ended up not needing a lot, but they offered me a car to borrow, office space to borrow, whatever.
Brought you a Philly.
The best Philly in the world. Yes, and it was that big.
Not get any of.
It was that big. It was amazing.
Well, thanks for going down that memory lane. I appreciate you. I thank you so much for just traveling the world and being with my son at all the times that it totally makes sense for me to be the one, or even the times where it could have easily been me, but you're like, no, I'll stay here. I lift you up and I thank you for just being such an amazing mother while we go through all of this. But I wouldn't have wanted to go through all of this with anybody other than you.
Aww.
I love you.
Love you.
But all right, guys. Well, that's episode 4. And we'll see you next time on episode 5.
Yeah.